Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
Bucket.
Toko.
What's up?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. G feeling it up, because I'm a little sleepy. But other
Mine's
than
coffee.
Mine's water.
I had coffee already. I had that earlier this morning. It's like afternoon now, so I have to have something else. Do my best. Do my
Games
best.
is everybody been playing?
Speed is good.
No.
Game,
Don't listen to Baka.
games everybody's been playing. Apex Legends, been playing some of that.
Everybody has except for me.
Sea of Thieves, new update stuff, playing some of it. And then Anthem, started Anthem.
Yeah,
which
because it's out early for Origin Premiere and something else, right?
PC.
No,
I
just
think.
Origin Premiere.
Is it Origin Premiere?
Oh, okay. I wasn't
So-
sure if it was the pre-order stuff too, or just them.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think I do have a problem. One of the things that Griff and I had talked about was that she had issue with the fact there wasn't a whole lot of decision being made. Like if you had a dialogue or whatever, you basically had two choices. That does bother me a little bit.
The RP is really light.
Yeah. Also, you can see the world is much bigger than, say, like Destiny or whatever, and I like the fact that you can fly around. But I also can see how people can compare it to Destiny in a lot of ways. And if you remember, one of our complaints about the original Destiny was the fact that basically every mission was the same. You would go to one little area, you would unlock something, while you waited for Dude Bro to do his little thing, you had to shoot things. That's kind of how this is, except you're moving to a location to do it, and sometimes you're having to kill things ahead of time to unlock. But overall, I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm enjoying the dialogue. I'm enjoying the first two cinematics. More plot line than the entire Destiny series had in the first one. And I was like, well, there you go. There you have it. So it's they're trying to build upon what they've designed, and they're doing a really good job of it. I really like the world they're building. I'm at a point now where I have to unlock basically these giant doors, and it wasn't real clear, but it took me a little bit to figure out that in order to unlock these doors, I had to do stuff inside the world to make that happen. And so basically you have these challenges to be able to unlock the door, and then you go into, let's say, a dungeon or whatever to go in and do it. So now I'm trying to unlock those doors, and there's like 5 or 6 of them to do that. So
That feels
but
like
it's
padding
fun.
content. I mean, I don't want to say a whole lot of bad things because I really want Anthem to be successful for BioWare's sake. But Chicken and I, even last night, were having a debate about some of this stuff because we've been watching the Reddit very closely and seeing what everybody who's playing right now has, are saying about it and all. And it sounds a lot like BioWare had really good ideas. The combat is solid. Like, literally nobody's complained about the combat. The combat's good.
Fantastic.
Like, even in the demo, flying and shooting and your different javelins, those all felt really good. But it's some of the smaller stuff, like they're padding content already. You've got to do X amount of challenges to open the next area. Well, but shouldn't that just be part of my story progression instead of going?
Well, this is part of the story progression. This is not you can go anywhere in the world. But to get inside this tomb, which specifically you have to go inside the tomb in order to be able to do, and there's challenges inside the tomb that you'll have to go through too. But that's designed in order to get to an artifact that you have to get to. And so it's part of the storyline. The only thing I don't like about it is it's not as clear as the other missions have been. In this one, you go into the part where you can just kind of do the free mode, where you can just go head around and find them that way, and so it's not as clear. Now, I like the fact that it's not hand-holding me either, because it forces me to explore. But I don't like the fact that it wasn't clear on what I was going to need to do in order to get to those points. So, but I'm enjoying it. I think that the combat is one of those things. Combat is one of those things that is I'm really enjoying. I don't like the fact though, if you die, you have to go, when you go back to an area, everything fucking respawns into that area, and you got to go back through it again. so if you're playing by yourself and you don't have somebody, even though it's supposed to put people with you, nobody's around each other.
Well,
They're
especially,
just,
well, that's one of the complaints I've heard about free play is there's not a great way to communicate with people in free play. It doesn't put you next to each other to start with sometimes. And, like, just free play is 4 people in a big giant open map, and it just doesn't feel like it's, anything to do, really. Like,
right.
You don't know when the events are happening, and you can't tell people if you run into an event. You can't, like, ping and say on me. You can't even, from what I understand, because I haven't gotten to, we're not playing it early, but from what I understand, there's no text chat even in the free play stuff, so you can't be
That's
like,
correct.
hey guys, I found this over here, why don't you come to me? So a lot of people from the Reddit have basically said, I'm just not going to bother with free play. Like, there's literally no point to going out there unless you're with a group of 4 of your friends, 3 of your friends and you, to go out and do that stuff together where you're already in a voice chat. If you're trying to do it as a solo player, or even as a duo, it's almost just...
Well, see, and they're not going to have a choice in this one, because this particular mission, you have to be in free play in order to be able to get through.
But see, that also feels like they made a thing and they want you to go and experience it, so they forced you into it, and even though it was a lackluster feature that you probably not going to use beyond that.
Maybe. I don't know. Until I get further into it, I can't answer that. But what I'm going to be upset about is, which most of the challenge I've already done just from playing the game. The ones I haven't done are, there's ones that are called world events. And basically, if you're in free play mode, you'll see these purple balls show up, and somebody will go, "Oh, come help me out over here," or whatever, and you'll show over the little purple ball. You'll follow it, get to where it's at, do whatever the challenges is there. You beat it, and then you're good. And I have to, like, one of the doors, I have to have 5 of those done. So that could be something as simple as just killing a bunch of eggs for the scorpions that are in the game or whatever. Or it could be I'm trying to help another freelancer, something to that effect. But overall, what I'm afraid of is I'm going to beat the shit out of these 5 things, and then I'm going to open this door and walk into the door, and it's going to be like, and no challenge whatsoever compared to what I just went through, And it's like, give me something good to open this up with, Give me, I don't care if it's a fucking rare item, an epic item, a legendary item, something. Give me something for this. I'm just hoping that it's not lackluster once I get inside. So
it just turns out to be just a codex where you read something.
Right. But I unlocked the first stronghold. I haven't played on it yet, so that should be interesting too. But I'm wondering, because the world events are purple, if strongholds count as world events, because they're purple. So maybe. Because I was like, at least it would be fun and entertaining, to go through the stronghold stuff. Because that's one of my favorite parts of when we played the demo. Was doing the stronghold stuff, because I thought it was really well designed. The big giant spider thing was kind of weird, but the rest of it was fun. So I'm interested to see how it ends up and how the end game stuff ends up. But right now I'm enjoying it. No Pants and I played a lot last night, and he and I are really close in levels, because he didn't get to play as much as he'd wanted to. And so it was nice going through, and it didn't feel like he was more OP than I was or whatever. We both played on hard just to kind of get the XP levels up to where we needed to. But our XP's basically at the end, he might have 50 more points or 100 more points than I did, and he usually plays Colossus where I play Storm. So
I feel like even in the demo, playing the difference in challenge and difficulty between normal and hard was really not that much. Like, we thought we were gonna not be able to do that spider boss cave thing on hard, because we'd already done it on normal, and you hit a few spots where it gets a little dicey, and we're like, well, we're probably not gonna be able to do it. And we really didn't have that much of an issue. Like, it was a little bit more difficult, but it really wasn't a big deal. I feel like that's a BioWare thing, because I feel like
you
the
wanted
same
it even
thing.
harder.
Well, I mean, it feels like if I'm going in on hard,
there's
it should
3
be
more.
challenge.
There are 3 more difficulties past hard.
Yeah, once you get to the
There's,
max
like,
level, which people have
Grandmaster
already
and-
started doing.
Yeah, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, because the hard one, I feel like they tweaked that a little bit. I don't disagree with you in the demo. I do feel like it's a little harder now than what it was in the demo. One of the things that I don't remember dealing with these in the demo was these sniper rifle guys. and like the little scars would have these sniper rifle
Yeah,
guys.
they had them for sure. Because I got sniped by one.
And there's a lot more of those than I remember being there, and so it's like, which is cool because you just have to. Because one of the things that I do a lot is I'll fly into a situation and I'll hover there, because if you hover, you don't use that much of your jets, and they've got a cooldown system that's set in there. So if you're underwater, like if you're under a waterfall, then you can just stay there all day. Or if it's raining, you can just stay like that. And so I can just stay hovering and ping them that way. And then when they go to do the sniping, then I can just move left or right real quick by doing the dodge move. And so, but some of them, like, you'll have two of them that are pinging on you. One's pinged, and you get that little bit of cooldown for your move, and another one's pinging on you right afterwards. You're going to get hit.
That's a mechanic that they had in Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda. I've noticed a lot of how much that, like, the good combat ideas that they had for Mass Effect Andromeda. They're like, this actually worked. Let's take this, and I think that's good because that's interesting mechanics, and they needed to do something with it. So
well, they didn't have a whole lot of people that actually experienced that mechanic. So
it's true.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But I am enjoying it. The world is gorgeous. They've done a really good job with it. There are just some things that I wish that are a little bit different. I'm interested to see where the plot line's going. I'm interested in the plot line.
I've heard that this plot line is where from what I've heard, the mechanics are really good and the plot line is good. It's just that a lot of the execution is not good. Like the menus and everything are over designed, which I understand. Because even in the demo, you could see some of that some of the stuff like Fort Tarsis is a little lackluster because it's essentially a hallway with a couple of offshoots and that's it. Like,
I just wish I could move faster.
Well, Chicken and I talked about that last night, actually. We had like a borderline argument about it, and I said that it was dumb that you can't run, and he's like, well, you are. If you look at your feet, you're running. It's a trick to make you feel like the place is bigger because you're technically running through it, but... And then I was like, that doesn't matter. They shouldn't have to trick you.
You can run now. You just can't run as...
No, it's still slow.
It's still slow, and it's just like, it's irritating.
But he's right, though. It's a trick that they're trying to use to make it feel like, oh, you're running through that, but see, your run speed, it feels slow because this place is so big. It's like, no, it's not. Look at these character models. That's how I tell how big it is, not how fast I walk through it.
They're just big people.
Oh, okay. Everybody here is big people.
It's interesting too because there's an area that's kind of like what was the thing in Destiny where everybody would meet?
The tower?
Yeah, the tower. All right, so basically it's like that.
The launch bay, the 16 people.
Yeah, it's because you got the launch bay thing and you can put that in there and do that, and it's like, okay, I don't ever go there.
Yeah, it's just a place to stand around and look cool with your javelin, and that's it.
And one of the things that I thought was really weird that they put in the game is like if you have a party. And let's say you go to start a mission or whatever, and so you go to talk to somebody, start a mission, and your person's in the party, you can hold down, like in my case I'm using controller, hold down the Y button, and immediately go to your javelin and start the mission with your party, like go into that screen and go ahead and start. But if you're by yourself,
you have to run back
and you're on the other side, you have to walk all the way back to your javelin. And I'm like, that's dumb. Why would that be a thing?
Because it's immersion. In that case, you're playing single player. They want to immerse you in the idea that you are this person, so your person would have to walk, which I get. I didn't know that there was even an option for the party to automatically load into missions from any place. I mean, it was in the demo. It was like always go back to the javelin.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's where I did. I just ran back to
the javelin. The city's a lot bigger than it was in the demo, too. So, like, you get a lot of areas.
Because
you get a lot of areas
that was one of my things last night is we were talking about it in the same discussion with the whole they're trying to make it feel bigger. And so I was like, how is it that they could make even, like, Dragon Age Inquisition, Skyhold, several years ago, was bigger than this place. And this is, like, where humanity lives in this one pocket. Like, it's not the last bastion of humanity, but it is, like, a big hub city. And it felt like, in the demo, that it was small. And there was, like, a handful of people that live here. And that's it. It didn't feel like, this is a big deal place. This is where we launch a lot of our javelins from that protect us and all of this. It just felt like...
It's also technical limitations between Dragon Age Inquisition, completely offline game. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. Whereas Anthem is an online game, so all of that stuff is ran server side.
That's true.
I mean, that's why you can't play free play by yourself. Like, you can't. I mean, everybody would try to run a whole free play by themselves, and that would be a stupid amount of servers that they would have to constantly
I do wish that free
loading.
play was more than 4 people, though. Like, free play feels like I should be able to encounter a handful of people, other freelancers out doing their things. But
I agree with that.
Yes.
The other thing about it is, too, I almost feel as though they should have set it up, because I can see where those other people are at in the world, but they're far away from where I'm at. We all start at the same place. Mm-hmm. They're just in a further distance than I am. Like, it should be one of those, if that person's on a mission that's similar to where I'm going, that we should be able to team up somehow.
I've also
and
heard
move
that
direction.
they're, like, quick play thing where it's like, okay, I'm just going to jump into a mission and go. Like, one guy on Reddit said that he did that, and it put him, like, he's a couple of missions into the start of the game, but he did the free play thing, and it put him into a mission in progress that was the last mission of the main story. And I don't think that it should do that. I feel like it should know
That's
your
probably
progress.
a bug.
It probably
shouldn't.
is, but
Now, it warns you ahead of time to let you know that you're going to skip parts of the plot line. But I agree with that. It should not go, like, maybe the next level above you. Or
I feel
maybe
like it should keep track of your progress and try to put you into a similar, like, either the scenario
Right.
that you were at or something lower.
Right. Well, and it could be that just the servers are low at that particular point. Like, I would much rather it put an error reading up going, no one's close to yours, you're going to have to be by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and start off.
Because then what's the point of having the plot line if you're just going to allow players to skip around in it to level up? I mean, why are they playing the game? There's no PvP content or, things like that. Why do you want them to play if the story doesn't matter?
Right.
So it just
Yeah,
feels
there's a
weird
few-
that that's an option.
I was thinking, sorry, for the free play kind of aspect of it is either one, if they want to keep it for people, they need to make a ping system so that you guys can work together. But if we want it bigger, then you can't have a ping system like that. Allow 16 people to fly around in the world, because honestly, if you have a ping system with that many people flying around, everyone's going to be spamming the shit out of it. But at least with 16 people, you have a higher chance of
Running into
being
another
near
player.
somebody and working with them.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
have the
That's
communication
one
style.
Of the things
Like,
there was one guy that wrote a big post about the free play thing, and basically he was talking about how when he loaded into the free play, like, everybody that all the other 3 people were all in different areas of the map. Nobody was close to each other. And if you get into a situation where something big spawns and it takes you down, you just have to, like, cut out and respawn, but it respawns you somewhere else, and then you have to try to figure out where you were at to get back to it because it has no map marker or
to
anything.
be fair, it should have a map. Like, I don't know
I'm just
why there
telling you
isn't
what
a
I
map
read.
marker. Because
The map marker thing is weird. Like,
it
that's,
should,
I
like, it
couldn't
shows you a
understand either.
trail of where you went.
Yeah, it shows you the trail, but and it's a form of yellow, right?
Right.
And depending on
Which map?
what your last path was, depends on how bright the yellow is. So it's all yellow, but the brighter part is where you were last, and it's just kind of like, huh? Like, I would prefer to be able to hit a map and be able to ping an area too, to be able to find it on the map, and you can't do that.
From what I've read is that there will be a ping system when the game is actually released.
Oh, good. They need it.
Yeah.
I just, there's certain things of the game that I'm just kind of like, I don't understand. We've had this mechanic for a long time. Why is this not added into the game?
Map markers? Like,
Yeah, like, we're
custom
gonna have
map
to see
markers?
the 22nd when the game is fully released and see what they get, because there's going to be a patch on the first day. For
Oh, of course there is. There always is a day 1 patch these days.
Well, it's for the Origin Premier people to kind of get the fully released version of the game. When like everything else is out in the open and whatnot, everything is good. So we'll have to see what changes on that day. And since you played the Premier, you'll instantly notice if there's anything different. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess it
And
depends on how
it's-
big the difference is.
Right, it could be something
Yeah.
minor. I
We
do like
gave
the
that guy
fact
a
that
mustache. That's the update.
the free play part of it allows you to be able to, like, there's 4 or 5 different places to respawn, like, to spawn out onto.
Right.
So
Right.
like on your map, don't take the one that is given to you, because that's the one that's at the tower, the one that's closest to you. Instead, click on it, back out, and then look and see what else is available to you. So if you need to go to the west side of the map, there's an option to be
Is
able
the
to go
whole
straight.
thing open? Like, there's no barriers? Okay.
Yeah. Whole thing's open. So,
Okay.
but that allows you to be able to not have to, take forever to get to the other side of the map. Instead, you can hit that and you already be there. But yeah, I mean, I've been all over the map and the caves are numerous. They're all over
Do they
the
all
place.
have load screens?
No, the caves themselves don't. The load screens are in between for the missions part of it. And mine has crashed 4 times.
I've heard there's an excessive amount, which even in the demo, there was an excessive
Yeah.
amount. That
Right.
first fucking mission, you jump in, you go 20 feet, you load into another load screen to go into a stupid cave.
It seems like the load screens are mostly on like the story missions and whatnot. When you're out in free play, you don't have any because that's just you loaded up the whole entire world, so no load screens.
Yeah, it's like the load screens themselves weren't that bad. The game, I do like the fact that the game is forgiving if you do crash in the middle of something because I feel like it's saving constantly. Because one of the things, last
server side, so no matter what happens on your side, your stuff is always saved, always updated. So
the last night we were doing a mission that had to do with the plot line, and it was like 2 a.m. and I'm like, okay, this is my last mission, and so we're going through this whole cinematic, everything that goes along with it. Had to do this battle thing or whatever, and I crashed. Finished the battle with no pants. Literally, he had just finished the battle, and I got the reward. Basically, was what ended up happening. And then it went back to a load screen to go back, and it crashed again. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Well, so I'd forgotten I'd done that. And then this morning, I started it back up, and when I did, it started right at a cinematic right after that battle. So I was like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't have to go back and do it. I didn't miss something, anything else. It started right on. I was like, that's pretty cool. So I don't know when that save happened, but I'm glad it did. So it's so that way you're not missing any of the plot line or anything like that. So GG on BioWare on that one, but we'll see how it goes, I guess.
This is why I'm always so adamant about dedicated server stuff. Like, if you play on your side, just connect to them. If you crash, then you lose everything. But if you're just basically looking at your screen playing on their servers, if you crash, you're perfectly fine because you just load right back into where you were. Dedicated servers, people. So important. Oh, my God. Oh, preach it forever.
Chicken and I haven't decided yet if we're doing the Origin premiere to play it that way or if we're going to outright buy copies. But one way or the other, we're probably going to test it out. Yeah. I'm a little more sketched than
I'd say do the Origin premiere to be cheaper.
And I want to play some of their other games too. Nice to have some of their other library. So,
I mean, technically you could, well, the way that Origin Premiere works, right, you could do the monthly, which is $15 a month or whatever. So if you just wanted to try it out for that 1 month, go in, pay your $15. Hey, look, I played 10 games, I'm good. Leave, whatever, because y'all go through games pretty quick. Yeah. And then, and then, but the other option is like it's $100 for the entire year, which is a lot less than, I mean, that's less than $10 per month.
Yeah, I mean you'd be paying $90 for 3 months. Wait, is that right? Did I math that right? Nope, I didn't math that right.
No, you didn't. No.
6 months.
No.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pull up a calculator. Shut up.
Yeah, you're right. It's $90 for 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
Or $100 for a year, which is not a bad deal. The game itself costs $60, so for an extra $40. But it's also that whole you own it versus you temporarily buying it.
Yeah.
Here's what's crazy. If you pay them the $100 and you cancel your service before your year's up, they reimburse you what's left over.
Huh.
Interesting.
Because they did that to me. They were like, do you want to cancel this? And I was like, yeah, because I'm doing the premiere, right? They said, we're going to reimburse you. That's the reason I got $17.34 or whatever it was left over from my 1 year that I purchased before.
That is very interesting because in that case, it means that you can't, like, your subscription has to stay live the whole time, or else, like, when you cancel your sub, they take away the rest of your time and just give you the money back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because usually, like, WoW, you can pay for your month and then you can cancel
it
your
immediately before it renews. But that's because it's an automatic renewal.
Well, you could still do that. I mean, go to the end of the month and do that. But I think it's because I paid for the year originally.
Interesting. Very much so.
So, because I was just basic, and then decided to go ahead and do the premiere.
You're a basic bitch.
Everyone heard it here first. Oak is a basic.
I hear you. I premiere now, bitch.
He upgraded. He ain't no basic now.
That's right. They paying me to play this game now.
Well, we'll have to see what changes when the full launch day one patch comes out and everything and all of that stuff. I want it to be good because I want BioWare to live. I want them to make Dragon Age 4. I mean, I want that theoretically, but if things are going to continue to go downhill, maybe I don't want Dragon Age 4. Maybe I just want to...
You do and you don't.
Yeah.
You won't want it, but you want it to be good.
Yes.
Yes. To be fair, it seems like most of the criticisms are it's being like positive criticism, like, hey, these are the things that are
constructive
not,
criticism.
Well, exactly. It's not just attacks on the game. It's like everybody's enjoying the game. Work with us, BioWare. We're here to help you make this better for us. So listen to your community.
Well,
okay?
And it's also EA. Please let them listen.
Unless EA's plugged their ears and was like, no, don't do it.
Oh no, they can't hear it. They've got AirPods in.
To be fair, they released Apex without anybody knowing it was going to happen and allowed Respawn to do it. So, I mean, I don't trust EA as far as I can throw something, but at the end of the day, it's one of those where maybe there's a turnover, a new leaf. We'll have to see, because their stock dropped recently. So, just before Apex came out, so we'll just kind of have to see how that goes, but it just...
The developers, I will say, for Apex are absolutely incredible. On the Reddit, they did this huge fucking list about all the issues that people have been having, their plans and whatnot, and they're planning on doing a daily check-in. Every day, they're going to hit up the community. Every day is what they said, which I think is a little ambitious.
Yeah, it is.
But
well, they probably got a PR
in.
manager that's going to be dedicated specifically to go to Twitter, go to Reddit, go check everywhere that we have stuff and see what the complaints are, what the positive notes are today, gather them all together for us.
They could even do a weekly update like Sea of Thieves does, and just
which I think they're going to, but they're going to do like a daily check-in with everybody. Like, hey, are we having the same issues that we were? Did anything new pop up? This is what's on our radar. This is what we're working on next. It's the same as yesterday. They were getting closer. There's going to be looking for next week's patch and things like that. Like, if they want Apex to survive, they need to keep this boat moving. Because right now, it is definitely pushing Fortnite out of the way. For sure. They just got to keep it going.
And those of us that are adults are going, yes! Yes!
I don't want Fortnite to fail because it can babysit all the kids while the rest of us play Apex.
Oh, man.
It's not going to be babysitting my
like
kid.
Old people. You're shaking your cane and telling kids to get off your lawn.
No, I'm shaking my wingman and then shooting people. This is my gun. Get off my lawn. Pop, pop, pop.
Okay.
Oh, too funny.
What else? What else have you been playing?
Wow, it's a half an hour and we're still talking about games.
Well, we got really into Anthem.
Well, speaking of Apex, I've been playing that, and Resident Evil 2 has basically been my two games for the... I also started Red Dead 2.
Yeah, he finally started it. Finally.
Yes, started Red Dead 2. Pretty good. I've not made it very far. I'll give more of it once I play more of it. It's right here, waiting. As soon as we're done here, we're going to start this up. And then Resident Evil 2, I'm working on Leon B. Yeah, Leon B. So we're going to move through him. Once I finish that one, we will do all of the free DLC that just came out.
Yay! Free DLC, everybody. Free.
Yes. Apparently there's a horde mode, a secret horde mode that once you beat all three of the extra campaigns, you unlock a horde mode where you basically have to survive in the gas station and kill 70 zombies. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I started working on
Do they give you enough ammo for that?
As long as you can land your shots.
So you get 70 bullets for 70 zombies. Got it.
No, well, the zombies I think drop stuff too. So as long as you kill them, you can get stuff.
No, you get one bullet for each zombie. Make every shot count. Go, chicken.
Yeah, but
you
even if you shot them in
hell.
the face, yeah, you better get nothing but lucky headshots where their heads explode every time. Chicken and I swapped though. Like, he started Red Dead 2 and I started Resident Evil 2.
Which I have watched from videos. You need to watch them, people. It's so good.
Yes, they're on my YouTube. I think I'm going to do 2 a week. Like, 5 videos a week is very stressful. I don't think I can manage that right now. So 2 a week, Tuesday, Thursday, is my plan. If there's more, then you'll be surprised. If there's less, then something's wrong.
So good.
Shut up. It's because I've never... he loves it because I've never played Resident Evil, like this one, before. So I don't know what I'm doing, and he knows it so well.
Yes.
That's good though.
It's been fun though.
The game is incredible.
Yeah. I get lost really easy though.
That's all
the
games for
zombies
you, though.
keep lying to me. I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how dead are you? And nobody will answer me properly. I don't like
She always like, are you dead? Pop. Nope, you're not dead. Okay.
I haven't found Mr. X yet though. We're only two episodes in, so maybe
I have
today
a
when I'm
bad
recording.
feeling about whenever she finds Mr. X.
I'm just gonna run.
She's going to be freaking out the whole time.
She's gonna be so annoyed. That motherfucker is going to be chasing your ass down all the time. You're gonna be trying to do something, and then he's gonna pop up. You're gonna hear the door kick open from behind you, and you're gonna be like, and you can hear stomp, 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 stomp. I was like, oh god, run! Get away from me!
X going to give it to you.
Yeah, well.
The door kicks open. X, go give it to you. Oh god, there he is! Run! Oh god, I need that mod. I'm telling you, I need it in my life. Oh god, that game is so much fun.
I've
We'll be
also
getting
been playing the
Resident Evil
first
3.
Red Dead as well. I started that one again too. I like that even though it's an older game, it can still surprise me. But also,
Probably better now too that you're doing it by yourself instead of trying to co-op it.
well, the downside is having played 2 and then going back to 1. Like I got off the train the first like time that you get player control, and in 2 you get to wave at people and say hello. And 1 that pulls your gun out and everybody runs from you because now you're wielding a weapon in the middle of town at them. Like, sorry, I was just trying to be nice. Hello.
Hello.
My controller
Say hello
doesn't
to my
know what
little
she's
friend.
doing.
Yeah. So it's been interesting. What about you, Buck? What have you been doing?
Apex and keeping things up going on Atlas.
Oh yeah, got those chores you got to do in Atlas, man.
But yep. Other than that, I've just been working on models, painting on the doors. Took a break to work on a Gundam model a little bit.
Nerd. It's fun though. Baka does really good work. If you haven't seen his models and stuff, like D&D miniatures and just various models like the Gundam ones and all of that stuff, he does some really crazy good work. He's very talented. Makes me jealous a little bit. Not gonna lie. So
just a bit.
yeah. You guys want to talk about some news stuff now that we're like 30 minutes into the show?
Sure.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
What's going on in the news? Probably just soul-crushing, depressing things.
Well, to be fair, I already talked about the Resident Evil 2 the Ghost Survivors DLC that came out. The 3
Yay.
stories. They're more like the 4th Survivor stuff where you just kind of run through them with your limited stuff. So
That's not soul-crushing. That's actually pretty good. It's free DLC.
Yeah. Yep.
Good way to start off positive.
My favorite company, everybody who I'm talking about,
THQ Nordic.
THQ Nordic.
I said
They
it.
bought the Kingdom Come Deliverance developers, which I was a big fan of that game. I haven't bought it yet. It's a huge game. Really interested in it, but they bought them, which is good because if a publisher is going to buy them, I'm glad it was THQ Nordic because so far they've kind of been like, you can work with us, but you do your own thing. Don't come to us. You just do your own thing.
Are they just printing money? Like, I can't
to be.
have they buy everything.
I have no.
We're gonna get news next week that Microsoft got bought by THQ Nordic.
Holy shit! I swear, if that news article ever comes up, I'm just gonna be like, all right.
They bought Microsoft and Sony, and they're like, okay, and yes.
It'll be like my artists and Illidan action figures.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing this against your will.
I have no idea if they were ever. I don't think they would. Like, there would be an investigation if they were able to do that.
Anyway, who'd they buy this time?
The Kingdom Come developers,
Warhouse,
which is Warhorse.
Yeah.
Warhouse.
Yes.
I want that one. Warhouse. This is my Warhouse.
That's their sister company.
Like I honestly.
They also have War Barn, but that's totally different.
That's where the Warhorse lives.
I mean, I gotta know where in the world they are getting all of this money. Like, are the remasters they've been releasing really making that much? Because I mean, they have Koch Media, which made Saints Row and Dead Island, and I guarantee they're working on a game.
Probably.
For sure, like either a new Saints Row or a new Dead Island or a whole new IP. So there's a project that they're working on. the Goat Sim developer Coffee Stain, they're making a new game too.
I think they're still putting out stuff for Goat Sim, even like they're still doing updates. I think
it's not the Kingdom of Amalur. They bought that for a reason. They have a project in mind. They said they're working on 35 different projects.
They're very ambitious.
Like, where is this money coming from? I told Griff they've got to have a money tree in the basement where they just go and harvest it every day, and they just spend it all willy-nilly.
I mean, because basically they spent $45 million on buying this company, and there's no telling how much they've spent buying these other companies, right?
I mean, it's just.
Well, I heard
in
that.
my opinion, it is ludicrous.
Maybe part of it is that they manage their expectations better than other companies, because you always hear, big AAA game that was commercially successful underperformed for expectations. But like just a couple weeks ago, they released a statement that Darksiders 3 performed as well as they had expected, if not, just moderately better. It still did well for itself. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's that they're spending their money in accordance to expectations and setting expectations where they should be, instead of expecting to make literally all the fucking money in the world.
It's like everyone in the world's gonna buy a copy of this. It's Call of Duty. No.
Yeah, I mean, no shit. Which makes me so excited. I mean, if Darksiders 3 lived up to its expectations, that means we'll probably be getting a Darksiders 4.
With all four of them, or at least the last
No. The last one's going to be starring Strife.
I
mean, well, what they said, and I can guarantee it, is that Darksider is one of their big IPs.
Yeah,
which means if it performed to expectations, they're like, all right, cool, let's make another one. Cool.
The only downside is if they release the fourth game and they're like, okay, here's the last of the Four Horsemen, and then the fifth game is your 4-player like you want, but it's a 4-player battle royale with the Horsemen, because battle royale is so trendy. So trendy. Tetris has a battle royale. You don't have to. I mean, like, you don't have to understand it. Just get that it's gonna happen. Where we're at now.
Or they're gonna. It's called the Super Apocalypse new style of gameplay.
I can't wait for Biomutant. That game is gonna be interesting. I want to ride the giant glove.
That's next month, right?
Is it?
Is it?
I think so.
I don't remember. There's so many things. Like, this is the start of the heavy season for games to come out in the race to summer. Then we have E3, and then we have another fall batch, and then...
All it says is mid-2019. No date.
Mid. Okay, so June.
So June.
That's like the exact middle, right? That's 6 months in.
There you go.
I mean, as long as it turns out to be pretty good, I think they'll be perfectly fine with it. Like, I
think it, based on what I've played of the game, I can tell you right now, you're gonna want to fucking play this game. I can tell you just the small smidge of the game that I played, that like it was a 15-minute, 20-minute demo, and then watching a totally different version of the game being played this last time at PAX, because I wasn't able to get into the line, so I just watched people play. It's worth it. I mean, the fact that you can create your character to kind of look how you want it to also colors, big fluff balls if you want to, whatever you want to do.
Character creation so important.
I mean, okay, I love the description. Post-apocalyptic kung fu fable.
Mm-hmm.
And
the combat's nice on it too.
Honestly, the title and everything itself kind of reminds me of like games that they would do back in PS1, PS2, where they would experiment with like crazy things like that, or even Super Nintendo. Like there was a game on Super Nintendo. I can't think of the name of it right now, but you start out as a blue little clay ball, and you pick up like different colors and become different creatures through it to get through the levels.
I have no idea what game that is.
Neither do I.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
But I can appreciate THQ Nordic.
I wanted to say Clay Fighters, but that wasn't it. That's a totally different game.
Yeah, Clay Fighters is different. I thought that's where you're going at first too. But it's good though. I mean, they're THQ Nordic. Good for them. Keep buying shit.
Mm-hmm. Keep buying stuff and start releasing some games. God, I want to buy stuff from you.
Just not on Epic Store.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, hey, they're like, they made their own decision. I mean, we let our companies do what they feel like they need to do. So I mean, I ain't throwing shade, but there's a tree around here somewhere.
Right. Right.
I got that. Okay. What else do you want to talk about?
We'll talk about the fact that Razer's game store, that I'm pretty sure none of us knew even existed, is closing at the end of the month.
Yeah, like, wait.
It had a store.
I mean, but
Yeah.
the thing is, it was just a key store, so it was selling you game keys from other storefronts, essentially. So it's not really a big deal.
I don't understand why it was. They thought that would work. I mean, like, you've got
They
all
didn't
these
even
clients.
publicize it. Literally, none of us knew. Half the comments
Yeah.
in that article are like, "What? There was a game store there?"
It's like you should have, advertised it a little bit if you wanted us to buy games from you, but I guess you really didn't want to. I mean,
They just didn't want to
Okay.
invest in it that much, I guess. But yeah, February 28th. It's gonna close down. So if you have things to redeem from them, you should do it in the near future, like the next
Yeah.
2
There you go.
weeks. That's it. Strange.
Very, very strange.
Claymates is what it was called, by the way.
Playmates.
Claymates. That's it.
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, so we got three pretty big pieces of news. We'll go with this. Okay, so somebody sold a sealed Super Mario Brothers game for $100,000.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. That's crazy. Original Super Mario Bros. In the box, sealed. 10,000.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Its score was A++, which means it was in perfect mint condition. They
Where did
basically
they even
went to
keep that? Like, how did you keep it that long in that kind of condition? How did you do this?
Like I was about to say, they went to the store, they bought it, they put it in a glass container,
And
put
never
it
touched
like
it.
yeah, they never touched it. They put it inside of another container, and kept everything away from it for like 30 years.
That's what you call investment right there. Like, I feel like that's one of those where, like when Fallout 4, when it came out, you had the one that had the Pip-Boy and all that stuff with it. Like, if you'd taken that, put it in a glass case, and then like 30 years from now, put it out, people would be like, "What? That's cool."
But I think the downside
Well,
of
to
that
be
is
fair,
you have
Fallout is going downhill. So
Yeah,
nobody
Fallout,
Bethesda-
Fallout 76 did.
Fallout
Yeah.
76 did, but if that's where we're gonna go with things and it continues on like that, then it probably wouldn't be worth a whole lot. I mean, they got lucky that Nintendo ended up being super
You'll
successful.
still,
and
if
everything.
it's sealed though, you'll still get more than what you.
Well,
paid
that's
for it.
true, but I mean, still something like that. Like, is it gonna be worth 100,000?
Probably not.
No, but if you can get 5 out of it, and you paid 150 for it, or whatever it was.
Yeah. True. So
That's crazy.
that was that. Also, Nintendo Direct happened this week.
Yeah, they announced a bunch of stuff. Mario Maker 2, which I think is like a lot of
Everybody's
the
so fucking stoked for that.
yeah.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
Ooh.
which was a Game Boy game that they're redoing for the Switch.
Remaking completely.
Remaking, yes. Tetris
I think it's weird that like the Captain Toad treasure tracker, which I always thought was a short game anyway. It took me about 3 hours, I think, to beat it when it was on Wii U. And then now they've got like paid DLC stuff that they're putting in as well. Which I
Yeah.
think is weird.
As long as it's cheap enough. I mean, is the game a full price game or is it like $20?
I think it was full price when they did it this last time. I could be wrong. I'd have to
I
look on the
think,
store.
no, I thought it was like 40.
Well,
me-
40
maybe.
is full price for Nintendo games, though, isn't it?
No, 60.
Yeah, 60
Oh,
is
they are
regular
now?
price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, it's $40. Yeah, $40 for digital.
but they'd added stuff into the game to start with, so there might be even more. So maybe the game's up to like 6 hours.
I didn't know
That'd be
Assassin's
nice.
Creed 3 was getting a remaster or had a remaster. I guess I missed that news, but it's coming to Switch.
I'm sure you're gonna pick it up. That's one of your favorites.
Assassin's Creed 3 is like no one's favorite. I think the thing that will sell it is that they're packaging it along with Liberation, which was really good, but only on the Vita. So
I'm very
that'll
interested
sell
in. I mean, like they did the Ezio collection or whatever. What, last year, year before?
I think it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah,
it's been a few
like
years.
that would have been cool to have because
Ooh, that would've sold
to
a
be able to
bunch, too.
play through that entire part on
On
just
Switch.
be able to sit in bed.
Which they might just announce freely one day, but like, oh yeah, the Ezio collection is coming out for the Switch. You want to get it? What? Yeah, sure. What? Okay.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
For sure.
I will say the biggest thing that came out of the Nintendo Direct, they kind of everybody went, what? It's a game called Tetris 99, and it is, I am not joking, a Tetris BR game. Battle Royale. It is 99 players facing off in Tetris.
So weird to me. So weird.
It's so odd, but it's free to play, right?
Yeah, as long as you have the Nintendo Online subscription.
There you go. So you can, if you're good at Tetris, see if you can battle other people playing Tetris.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to make Tetris a competition. It's enough of a competition between me and the randomly generated blocks that I'm getting. That's hard
enough. It's the same thing with like Pac-Man and the old games like that. They like to compete against each other who can get the highest score. Well, now you just throw into 99 and you could start ranking up in the world, because there is a very highly competitive Tetris world out there. I've seen some of the speed runs of it, and it's pretty crazy. People are so fucking fast.
Yeah, they are. It's nuts. One of the things that I thought was kind of crazy is, which this was the game that I played 2017. Absolutely loved it. Was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and they're transferring that one to the Switch. That game visually is very, very beautiful, but the other thing about that game too, and I'm interested to see how this translates over, is part of the atmosphere of the game is actually the sound that comes along with it, because she's hearing voices and things like that as you're playing through the game, and it coming from all different points. So I'm interested to see how they translate that. If it's one of those where they recommend you putting headphones on to be able to play the game.
Probably, but I mean, not everybody plays it with headphones, because it was...
Yeah, it'll probably just be one of those where they recommend you wear headphones. We highly recommend. A game that I did not see on here that actually is that is coming to the Switch is Dead by Daylight. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, the isometric hunter-killer game where you have to play the 4 survivors and then start up the generators, and then the hunter is hunting you to kill you.
I feel like there's just people sitting there going, hey, by the way, we can make a game, put it on Switch. Whatever game you have, we know how to put it on a Switch. Like, I just feel like there's somebody there.
I mean, they probably do. And Nintendo said when the Switch came out, they're like, we want third party. We are going to have third party. Indies, AAAs, old school games, anything you can think of, put it on the Switch, because people want to play games on the go. Whether it's old, new, indie, AAA, whatever. We'll work with you. We got you. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Can we put our game on the Switch? What is it? Yeah, go ahead. Work with them. Okay.
Also, for all the Final Fantasy fans out there, you can actually pick up Final Fantasy 9 now, and then Final Fantasy 7 will be out March 26th on the Switch as well. So, if you're a big fan of 9 and 7.
Most people are still waiting on the big remake that they announced a while back.
Yeah.
Supposedly supposed to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be broken up into parts.
Yeah, that's right.
Stop
it's episodic.
Doing the episodic thing. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's
crazy.
So. Oh, okay. Well, we've been following this story for quite a while now. The Fortnite dance thing with Alfonso. Apparently, he could not get the copyright for his dance because it was simple.
Yes.
Which, to be fair, I understand that it is simple, but he popularized it, and because he can't copyright it, he gets no credit, while a company makes billions off of his artistic creation. He made.
Yeah. I mean, okay, but I don't understand that, because the Copyright Office let somebody copyright the stupid original smiley face design. It was just yellow with a fucking smiley face. But that's not too simple to copyright because it's art, quote unquote. But this is a simple dance, and somebody's making bukus of money off of it, and that's too simple? Really? Excuse me.
I would keep it going. Like, if I was him, I would just keep fighting it. Be like, all
I
right,
would use that argument. Be like, you've allowed more simple things than what I did to be copyrighted, but because they are quote unquote art or a physical piece of something that you can hand somebody, it makes it different.
Like, you know what I would do? I would go to every episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he does the dance and just loop them all together, like just edit them all together one right after the other and send it to them and go, look, here's 200 episodes of me doing this. It was never done until then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Like, just it's so irritating to me because it's like it's obvious that that's where it's based off of. Nobody knew what that dance was in the 90s until it happened. Exactly. From him. I mean, nobody had a clue, and it's, you know, what about the guy from Scrubs? I mean, I hope he's trying to copyright his, because his is actually two different ones in the game in Fortnite. So it's just and
his is as simple as.
That's true. I wonder where, like, how it falls with stuff like that, because for a while there was, you know, rumors that they were putting a couple of BTS choreographies in there as well. It's like, those are really complicated. So can they copyright that so that you can't make tons of money off of them because it's from a specific place? I mean,
basically the way that the law is written, it states that it can't be just a simple dance move. So, like, you can't do the moonwalk, right? Something that's just simple. But you can do.
I wonder if that's actually trademarked, though, the moonwalk.
It probably is.
An actual choreographed routine you can do, which the one from Scrubs technically is. Yes. Where Carlton, I can understand one direction or the other, because basically he's moving back and forth with just a simple motion. The floss cannot be, because it's, again, back and forth in simple motion. So there are certain things that are not going to be able to, and certain things you're going to be able to. But my thing is just do the fucking right thing. Like, stop.
Michael Jackson actually did hold a patent for the moonwalk.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, that guy created a bunch of fucking dances. He's a creative genius, but
yeah,
he did dances, songs. I mean, I think he even actually worked on some music for the Sonic game, or one of them.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just creative geniuses, but yeah, that's not surprising at all that he has legal rights to the moonwalk. Every time someone does the moonwalk, he gets $1.
I don't know. I wonder where you draw the line, and I wonder where Epic draws the line at, like, how bold can we be about stealing things that are recognizable, you know, like Carlton, the dance is from the 90s, so it's, you know, 20 years back, and they're bringing it back and whatnot, and it was an actor that they feel like was probably not going to say anything about it, versus, you know, trying to steal a major dance from, like, current stuff. I kind of wonder where do they decide to draw the line just in case.
Could you imagine? I'm thinking about this, though. You were talking about the BTS dance just a minute ago. I'm like, if all they have to do is you just have one of them go, they stole our dance, Army, and Fortnite would be, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine.
You mobilize that fandom and it's over. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. They had a stream where one of the guys were streaming. He raked in by himself, like with him, and because it's his birthday, 9.6 million unique viewers by himself. I'm talking like Walking Dead numbers. Like the whole,
and it was
people...
and it's one of those things where it's like a specific language and whatnot. Yeah, you don't. Epic was probably not going to go and try to take a BTS dance.
I'm pretty sure they made a deal, because if not, that's the last like community that you want to anger, because
you're right. You mobilize them, and they're fans, Army.
You're bigger K-pop people in general, but BTS is just a juggernaut.
Yeah,
like, you just don't mess
they're
with that.
They're a media phenomenon. Like, you want to talk about numbers?
Yeah, they're being compared to like the way the Beatles were back in the day. I mean, when they come to wherever they're performing, the whole fucking city shuts down because everyone's too busy trying to get.
It's still it amazes me or whatever, because if I mention them or whatever, and I know we're getting off topic, but if I mention them, the amount of people that don't know who they are. And by the way, if you're listening to our show and you don't know who BTS is, please
go
Google, Spotify it, make it happen, because I'm telling you right now that the guys are uber talented and they're great individuals.
They're so nice.
Yes, they are very. That's
actually
why
one of the
I
things that's trending for J-Hope's birthday. The guy that did the V Live and got all the numbers. Yeah, for his birthday, they're asking armies to donate to charity and things like that. And I guarantee you that within 24 hours, there's just going to be tons of charities that blow up with donations, because people do it. I mean, like, it's crazy, the following.
Yeah, I mean, when you
have though,
7,
like crazy in a good way. 7
of the top 10 global trending trends be about one person, you know there's there's something up with them. Yes. It is nuts.
Also, happy birthday, J-Hope.
Anyway, too far off topic.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately,
but if we get 1 billion views because she said that, buddy.
Yeah, all you got to do is send an army to him, and then everybody just fucking okay. Anyway, it sucks that that he doesn't get the copyright for it. I hope that he keeps pushing because something has to change. It's going to be one of those.
Wasn't there other artists?
Yes, there are. It's not
it?
just him. I think 2 Milli was still working on how to get them legally on that. There was the guy from Scrubs had said that he was going to look into it. And there was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was, but we talked about it. I think
the orange
right
shirt
before
kid
Christmas.
and backpack kid.
Yeah, Backpack Kid definitely wanted to get in on it, but the downside of Backpack Kid though is that dance is on YouTube previous to when even he did it, and it was somebody else. So I don't think that he's going to be able to.
I think Orange Shirt Kid has a better case on that one.
Yeah.
They're all going through the same firm, so that's good. Keep it all together.
The downside is if the ruling is going to be that the dance is too simple, then they're probably all going to fall under the same umbrella that Alfonso did, which is unfortunate because, again, as dancers, that specific kind of art is being counted as less than, and that is terrible. Makes me want to punch people.
And I understand the individual dance move part of it. But to me, there's a routine once it becomes more than just...
When people are learning the specific steps to it, it is no longer a simple dance, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like people learn.
You have to try.
Maybe that's what you have to do. You have to go into the patent office and turn around and go, hey...
Can you do this?
Can you do this?
Can you do the Carlton? And then everyone's like, yeah, I know the Carlton. And then it's like, oh, the Carlton, huh? That's what the dance is called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
I mean,
case closed.
Exactly. It's one of those things where like, see, people know it by it being called.
Well, heck, even in Fortnite, the name of the dance is Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe in Epic's mind, that's how they gave the credit. This came from Fresh Prince. Obviously, you know what it is, right?
Right.
Or we'll just smack you.
Yeah, it's called the Fresh Dance. So.
What else we got before I have to
last
go
one that
punch
we've got
some
on
people?
here. Same thing that we have in the news a lot. It seems to be bad news every time we turn around.
I told you the news was going to be soul crushing.
Activision Blizzard confirms it will lay off approximately 8% of its staff, equating to almost 800 jobs. That's not the worst part, though. The worst part is they're doing it, and they made record profit in their fourth quarter this past season.
Same call that they announced the layoffs. They were talking about making record amounts of profit. But from what I understand, a lot of the jobs that they're getting rid of are esports jobs, and many of those were tied directly to the Heroes of the Storm esports stuff. But they're not. They
also
doing
got
things,
rid of a shitload of community managers,
which sucks. Because why would you do that?
Does. Because there were a few that I've seen them all the time because I visit the forums and whatnot, and I see them pretty engaged with the community and whatnot. And they let go a lot of them, and so basically, it's like, who are you going to have engaged with the community now?
Nobody.
You're getting rid of some of the best
It's
voices.
Activision now. They don't care.
It is Activision Blizzard. It is no longer Blizzard. Blizzard doesn't even have a CEO anymore. They just have a president.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said it's Activision, because Activision's the one making all of these calls about it. So it's, it's just not what it used to be.
It's not.
Yeah.
This actually sparked a debate, and I want to talk to y'all about this too.
Okay.
At what point do you believe game development stops? Because there are people, like we'll use the community managers, for instance, that when they're talking about the resume, they put themselves down as game developers. Do you think the game developers, the artists, and the people actually creating the game, or do you believe it's everybody involved that's part of that community?
I think that's an interesting question and an interesting topic of debate, because saying that you're a developer as a community manager, I mean, your job's more PR oriented than development.
Right.
You're just basically an aggregate at that point where you get all of the
like
info.
It's community development.
Yeah, I mean, I would say more community development than game development.
And see, and I'm also one of those people that, because if I looked at it and I went, okay, I'm an artist for this game, versus somebody that says I'm a programmer for this game, I think that they're both in game development.
Yeah.
But they're individual stuff, and I almost look at community managers as something that happens after the game is already almost ready to ship. So when you're going through your promotional stuff and all that, that's when you want that engagement.
That's why I said it's more like a PR job than it is a development job.
It's like a different type of development, like where you're working on, developing your
community.
It's more,
I wouldn't even say it's necessarily development. It's a support job. It's you're not, necessarily developing the game or cultivating the ideas and whatnot. You're supporting the game and kind of keeping track of all of that on the people side of it.
And that's the thing about it too. It's like it's an extremely important part of the job.
Yeah, no, I'm not discounting what the community.
And that was the thing is they were debating on, because of the 770 members of the staff that have to be laid off, and some of those happen to be community managers, and some of them might be in other parts of it, whether it's the promotional part of it that has to do with the esports part of it or whatever. Do you conclude like? How important is the job? Like, I think we're all looking at it going, okay, well, this is very important for these individuals. Feel bad for them as individuals, but also, do you consider them game development, or how do you categorize them? And I think it's interesting kind of debate, because it's one of those where some of them might turn around and go, I am part of game development because of, let's say, the esports side of it, because I'm helping them decide what's going to be best for esports. So therefore, I'm part of that game development. And the community management might be, because they're engaged with the actual people that are playing the game, they could turn around and say they're part of the game development because they're helping work through the bugs, find out what the feedback is from the local community, and giving that to the developers in order to be able to change the game in certain ways.
But I think that's the key, is that you give it to the developers. You are not actually developing those. You are still just basically the equivalent of a news aggregate. Yes, you are taking the 150 things that people complained about today or found bugs about today and cutting them down to the 50 most important and passing them on. You are not developing any of that. You are just touching base with the other side of it in being a go-between. So you're not really a developer in that sense of it. It's not saying your job is not important. That's not all what I'm insinuating.
No,
I'm just saying I wouldn't say that you were a dev. You are part of a team, yes, and you work on a specific game, but you are not a game developer.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely more of just a PR, not just a PR, but the main critical point between developing a community and then giving it to developers. That's a very specific
part of PR, I would say.
You're the social bridge.
Yes, because without that, then the developers are completely, because some developers try to be,
but I mean, developers generally have a lot of stuff on their hands already, where they're actually working on the bug fixes and everything, and they don't have time to do the social part of it. They go between. That's why they. Well,
and to be fair, think of this. Hold on, I'm going to piggyback off of what Chicken was saying, which is some of the developers try to do the community management part of it. We'll use a great example of why they shouldn't. Hello Games.
Yes.
If they had somebody that was actually in charge of the community, the mess that happened could have been handled totally different.
Yes, like if they would have had an actual PR person be like, all right, let's keep expectations right here, instead of let's keep expectations way up. It's like, no, what are you doing? The higher you build it, the faster it's going to fall. You keep things grounded, and then you build upon that. But no, he went way too high, too fast, and shit fell real fast. So, I mean, community managers are so critically important for online games. For online games, at least. For, solo games.
Community managers for solo games, I would say, are still important, too, because you want to have that contact point for, a name that I can put with this to say, I want to tell you what I experienced. This bug is breaking my game. What are your people going to do about it? But, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it definitely... For games like The Witcher 3, I mean, you don't need, a whole community manager to develop this giant community around Witcher 3. I mean, yeah, you definitely have it, but for games like Apex or Anthem, you're going to need, a lot of nurturing your community so that you can get a lot of good feedback, which is one of the problems that happened with WoW, is that the community got real fucking toxic and very aggressive towards the community managers. So they basically built up a wall and completely stopped listening. Some of the
community managers didn't help with that either. They would clap back really quickly, or they'd be very sarcastic in responses to questions that they felt were stupid. And it's like, you shouldn't treat your player base like that, because they're essentially paying your bills. So maybe not do that. But yeah, they contributed. Their community managers contributed to some of that toxicity.
Yeah, it turned rough, and it's a very delicate balance. That's why community managers are so important, is that they've got to nurture it the right way, and they've got to weed out. The community also has to keep toxic people out and manage itself. It's like a biome where you have to learn how to handle yourself and keep your community good.
And see, and I think, and this is no disrespect to the developers themselves, but I almost feel based on that part of it, like the toxicity and everything else that you have to deal with, that job's almost more important in some ways because you could live in a box. Like, literally, as a developer, you could put yourself into a box and ask what the local community is doing so you can continue to work and do what you need to do so you don't hear the outside stuff. Instead, that person can come to you and say it in a positive manner on what you're getting from the feedback from the toxicity, right? And so that way you work in a positive environment and you can continue to create something that's good. Where I think that's where you don't necessarily want the person that's in charge of developing the game, because this is an art form in a way, because we've talked about that before, right? And artists have to be inspired, and if they feel down, depressed, anything like that, or don't feel inspired in some way, they don't put out good product. And I think that's kind of the important part of making sure you have a good PR team that's there. So
the perfect analogy for that is, they're inside of a box, and the community managers are the one out in the war. Like, they're the ones out there dealing with all the people and everything, and then they come into the house, and they're like, all right, man, so this is what it's like out there. He goes ahead and tells them, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to have to get back out there. All right, here we go. And then he goes back out into the fucking the war field and whatnot. And the developers every now and then open up the curtains. They're like, whoo, it's bad out there. I'm going to go ahead and close that and keep working.
Right.
I'm going to go back inside now.
It's raining. Nope.
So I mean, community managers are important. They're the ones that have to. Well, some communities are really good, so they don't have to suffer. But some communities are rough. So I mean, they got to deal with a lot of shit. So I got a lot of respect for them, which is why it hurt a lot watching some of them with all the work they've done over the years just to get let go.
Yeah.
At this point, Blizzard is gone. It's Activision Blizzard.
And Activision doesn't care about the community. Like, with Activision, and I feel like sometimes EA does this a lot too, this is what our vision is. Now give us your wallets. Don't ask questions. We're just going to keep taking deposits out. We're calling them microtransactions, but their cost is about the same as a whole nother game. Just give us your money and stop. Like, no. We need that go-between. We need you to listen to us. We need everything to be a little better. But now Activision is definitely going to be that way.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't plan on buying anything from them anymore. I'm going to play WoW Classic, but that's probably the next thing that I will probably only play from them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this ends up affecting Blizzard in the long run, that part of the company.
Well, Blizzard's already kind of going downhill. A lot of long-term WoW players have been upset with the last couple of expansions and some of the things that they've done and reused and how content comes out now. So it's not looking great for what's left of Blizzard anyway.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see what ends up happening off of this, because
it's been going down since Lich King, actually.
And I believe it was. This goes back to the THQ Nordic thing. I believe THQ Nordic posted on Twitter all the job openings and stuff that they have across
after
theirs.
they did that, they're like, "Hey, we're sorry to hear about what happened over at Blizzard, but if any of you guys need it, we have a lot of openings over here, so feel free to check all this out."
Yeah. And I hope that they all find new jobs that are worth it, and everything. And probably miles and miles better than what they were getting once Activision really started seeping in. So, I mean, maybe it's one of those, like, blessing in disguise kind of things, where this really sucks, but maybe you'll get a job at a place like THQ Nordic, which is really going to take care of you and value you as an employee more than some of the other companies you worked for.
And it might be your last job ever. Good to go. Be there for the next 25 years.
This is my forever job.
Forever. Oh, do you have an idea of a mutant kung fu game? Okay. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's going to turn around. I have this idea over there.
Yes. I bet it'll come out on Switch. Is it coming out on Switch?
I don't know. Everything's coming out on Switch. That's what the joke was.
Right.
It's not funny if you have to explain it.
No, it's not coming out on Switch.
Not yet.
Yeah, I was about to say not yet.
Everything eventually does.
Mm-hmm. It's like the go all console where everything can go, except for Sony stuff because they're still grumpy. The grumpy old man, get off my console, you.
Get off my console.
We have anything else? Because I gotta record some Resident Evil and be chased
that should
by
be it.
Mr. X.
I got a game that I need to go watch. It's on right now, so.
Fair enough. We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Make sure that you go to Grif's YouTube channel.
Yay.
Yes.
Go there. Enjoy the scariness, okay? I'm telling you now, she's one of my favorite people to watch play, especially when there's a scary game involved, because she reacts accordingly. Even something minor, you're going to get squeals, which, to be honest, they're kind of cute. You get all the squeals and stuff that she ends up there. It's so much fun. Please make sure that you watch them. It's hilarious. I mean, if we could get her to do Five Nights at Freddy's, we'd be
No.
set.
No, she doesn't squeal in that one. She just like gets scared. But I will say, watching her all like slowly creep up on this guy, and she's like, "Are you dead? Are you dead?" And then it starts moving. She's like, "Eep!" Oh.
The little mouse squeak. It's so funny.
Right, you guys.
No, you don't.
Adorable.
Also, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313, where Chicken streams Sunday through Thursday. You go on there, you can watch him play Resident Evil 2. He's got the new DLC that's coming out. He's also running a B run of Leon, right?
Yep. Finish that one, and then we'll start with the DLC stuff, and then we'll start speedrunning it.
There you go. So, it's gonna just be a speedrunner for Resident Evil games, all of them. Making sure all of them.
Alls of them.
Hey, if you play Resident Evil 5, I want to play. Just saying.
We'll do speedrun. Huh, I wonder what the speedrun for Resident Evil 5 is.
Oh, great. Now we gotta keep going. Just ignore him.
Also, make sure that you go to mixer.com/MDVOaktree, where I stream pretty much every day, except Saturdays and every other Wednesday, which is an odd time, but for some reason I have to do that. So, other than that, we should be good. Everybody's good. We're ready for the week.
Join the Discord. I'll put it down below.
Yes, make sure you join the Discord, please. Down there at the bottom. Down there
Yes,
somewhere.
if you're on YouTube. If you're on Podbean, I don't really know where the description shows up at anymore. So wherever that is in the description, I will put it there.
Also make sure that you hit the subscribe button or the like button or whatever format we happen to be on. Make sure that you hit that if you're listening for the first time. Please do that. We appreciate your time.
Yes.
For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.